fellow humans, so I'm just popping in to start off this video and give you a little bit update on what's going on. So I am going to India, so this is a little bit of a different video. I'm going overseas, and this is my first time going overseas since the start of 2019, and I haven't been on a plane since 2019, but especially since the pandemic. Like, I've been in Australia ever since the pandemic started. So I've been like itching to get out of here. So finally the opportunity has come. Now, I probably would have given you this brief at like the airport, but like filming in public at the airport sounds like a literal nightmare because first of all, Melburnians are judgy as hell. But then second of all, this is the airport. People from all over the world are there. I'm gonna get judged so hard if I'm filming in public there, so I don't want to put myself through that. So unfortunately, you have to sit with me in my own room. But basically, the little update is, the way that we're going to India is we're going through Thai Airways. So it'll be like Melbourne to Bangkok, Bangkok to Delhi, and Delhi to Amritsar, which is our final destination. Sorry, I've moved outside to limit the distractions, but it's like a cold and windy day. But either way, basically we go from Melbourne, we leave at midnight, and then we get in at Bangkok 5:40 a.m. local time. And then we were supposed to leave 7 a.m. and then get to India at like 10 a.m. Indian local time, right? And that would have worked out great because then our connecting flight from Delhi to Amritsar is like 2:15 p.m. So that would have worked out great. We would have had like plenty of time to account for any like delays, or like if we randomly got COVID tested at Delhi airport, or like there was quite a few hours there to like as backup, right, as buffer time. Well, our Bangkok to Delhi flight got delayed by 4 hours, which means that flight now leaves at 11 a.m. Bangkok time and arrives about 2 p.m. Delhi time, which means that there is no way we're gonna make our 2:15 connection literally 15 minutes later. It's just not possible, it's not feasible, it's not viable, it's just not gonna happen. So unfortunately, we've had to last minute scramble to get a different flight for later that day, but just so that we can be home in time because we actually have somewhere to be the day after we arrive. So like there is a bit of a time crunch because we have to go home, we have to unpack our bags, we have to get everything ready for the next day, and then we have to leave. So that sucks. I am excited to go, but because of all that stress, it's been like such a stressful, tumultuous day that's like it's very sort of anxiety inducing to go there, to go to the airport now. It's just like, oh my goodness, all this is gonna happen. Like, I'm trying to look at the silver lining, and there are like positives about it. You know, we get to spend more time in Bangkok. I don't know how that's gonna turn out, but like it might turn out to be like the time of my life. I may like enjoy that so much, but like, you know, it's a little bit difficult. But yeah. So we made our way up Airport Drive to get to Tullamarine Airport. We had already checked in online, but like the queue was still long for like online check-ins. Either way, we did manage to get to the counter. We managed to get all of our checked in baggage through, and then we were off. Going through border security is always so scary, but no spoilers for the other two countries, but of the 3 countries that we visited in this trip,
Australian border security was the easiest to get past going outward, right? Because it was just so simple. Like the metal sensors and stuff, they just don't beep even if you have like metal on. I think they probably calibrated in a way to only detect certain metals or certain metals in certain positions or whatever. But like it's really easy, simple, and there's like not a lot of people there, and it's just like you walk straight in and you walk straight out. And one of my favorite things to do at airports is to just browse duty free, even though I'm not going to buy anything, because I just think it's like so much fun how everything's just like set up and displayed the way it is, and it's just like a huge mega mall. And obviously, because it's an airport, they have screens everywhere to tell you which flights are departing and what time it currently is, so you just don't get lost. The smells in some of these sections were really strong though, like this Gucci floral perfume display was like really strong smelling, and it does kind of leave you a bit overwhelmed. And they have really spacious bathrooms, but that's kind of for obvious reasons, because if you're traveling alone, you're not just going to leave your luggage out there for somebody else to grab, so you got to take it with you into the store. But still, I think it's like really nice. Also, we have half flushes in Australia. I have heard from some people that there aren't half flushes in like other countries. But I don't think that's true, because there's also half flushes in Bangkok, in Thailand, and in India, so... But honestly, because of its small size, Melbourne Airport is actually quite tame when it comes to over-the-top like advertisements, when it comes to like advertisements, LED screens, and just a lot of like things happening. And then we sat down at our gate, but like we still had plenty of time to kill, so I went out exploring.
So there aren't that many people here, so I can just like record here. Look, honestly, I love Melbourne Airport, and it's significantly better than like Avalon Airport. But like the only problem with this airport is that it's actually so small that you don't really even feel like you're in an airport. Like each boarding gate is like 3 seats, and that's it. So like I feel like we can make it a little bit more grand. This is like Melbourne, but at the same time we're a small country, so I guess it probably isn't worth it. But you know, a little bit sad when all countries have like huge, famous, awesome looking airports, and ours is just like sad and small. And just like following on from that, I love the idea of like liminal spaces. The only problem is that this is so small that it almost feels more like a shop than like a proper liminal space where you can kind of just get lost in what time it is and everything. Also, there's nothing open to eat at this hour, so it sucks.
So while I was sitting down, I was stretching my legs on my suitcase, and that's because we had like a 9-hour flight next. I couldn't really stretch my legs then, and also I was not being a nuisance to people. This row was empty. Now, I'm not a particularly nervous flyer, but this was my first flight in like several years, and I was a little bit nervous for takeoff, so this is just my heart rate while sitting down. And I was just recording some reaction shots to say that this was a really good takeoff, and like it kind of dipped a little bit, but either way. And I found it cool that you could use a remote to control everything. Like that's what you would use to call for help, to turn on the light above you, because usually they have those things like up next to the lights. But I think this was really cool. And this is me demonstrating that takeoff was actually really smooth and I didn't really feel anything, and it's really good for a flyer like me. 9 out of 10. And then this was dinner. I didn't really like the rice things, but I did eat all of it. But obviously I loved the bread. I absolutely adore bread. Bread is like the best thing to ever exist, and I ate so much of it. And then they had like this pretty nice dessert, but overall I did finish everything on my plate. I thought I was probably going to stay up for this flight because I usually do enjoy just like waking up staying awake in planes and then watching movies and stuff, but I couldn't really find any movie that I really wanted to watch. And then I started to try and watch Crimes of Grindelwald, and I also found that very boring, so I just went to sleep. There were only a couple of times where there was like significant bouts of turbulence, and this was one of them, and the first one, I think. And then it was about at this time that we crossed the equator, I think, and then we got breakfast. I did not like breakfast at all. I didn't eat anything except for like the naan bread thing that they gave. Yeah. And then we started approaching Bangkok, and while this was like a really long flight, it honestly didn't feel that bad. I thought the seats were pretty comfortable and my legs weren't too tired, but my parents didn't feel the same way, so maybe it's just the way that I was sitting, whatever, but like I was in the middle seat and I still felt good. Yeah, we had a really good pilot because even when they were kind of just like, descending and showing off the city to us, it was incredibly smooth and didn't feel that bad at all. And then we were in Bangkok, and now I can't fit everything into one video, so this is part 1 and part 2 will be up shortly.